Good evening. Welcome to I'll Talk to You. My name is Les, spirit name I'll Talk. In today's video, we will be performing an energy reading into the astrological fixed signs Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius for the period November 2024 until December 2024. I do intend for these to be for rising and sun placements, but feel free to watch and listen for other placements as well within these signs. Let's begin with Taurus. Okay, Taurus rising and sun for the period of November 2024 until December 2024. We have overview, past, present, and future energy dynamics. In your overview coming out for you, we have the Five of Discs in reverse, the Eight of Wands reverse, the Knight of Discs reverse, and the Ace of Cups upright. Okay, Taurus, it feels overall you are in a transitional or reevaluating period currently. With the Five of Discs in reverse, this gives an impression to me that you've been considering with the Five of Discs in reverse and the Eight of Wands in reverse, this gives an impression to me that you've been reflecting on your current physical surroundings or material possessions or life satisfaction and considering if you should be changing anything in your life or about yourself. However, ultimately, you've decided not to, with both of these being in reverse. The Five of Discs in reverse specifically refers to deciding not to change your physical surroundings or your material possessions. And with the Eight of Wands being in reverse, this indicates also, again, this is the physical decision of deciding to not change. The Wand suit specifically refers to physical action and effort into a particular pursuit, And with it being in reverse, this indicates that you have decided to not physically undergo the change that you've been considering with the Five of Discs. With the Knight of Discs in reverse, this indicates that you're having some dissatisfaction with your material possessions or physical surroundings, but you're not entirely sure what they are. Because it's the Knight of Discs, you enjoy the things that you have and are in possession of, but it's not satisfying you in the way that you're wanting it to satisfy. And with these followed by the Ace of Cups in the upright, this indicates that you are starting to have new feelings within yourself regarding how you feel about your material possessions. So it feels that intuitively, it feels that maybe you are maturing beyond your current situation. You are wanting a different emotional satisfaction from your current surroundings or possessions. However, because the Eight of Wands and the Five of Discs came out in the reverse, it seems that even though you are having dissatisfaction with your possessions or surroundings, you have decided with these two cards not to actually change what's going on around you. So it seems that, especially with this Knight of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Cups upright, it feels more so that you are trying to figure out what exactly you want differently and how you're able to change, but you're wanting to more emotionally understand why it is you feel this way and what specifically you feel a dissatisfaction for with the Ace of Cups in the upright. From your past energy, you have coming out for you is the Prince of Wands in the upright, the Four of Cups reverse, Queen of Discs reverse, and the Tower upright. Okay. With the Prince of Wands in the upright, it feels that from the satisfaction you realize you have from your overview, in some way, in some smaller capacity, you have been making, intuitively it feels with this Prince of Wands, you have been making smaller changes in your life to fill your satisfaction or fulfill your satisfaction. The intuition that I'm picking up from this card is that you were attempting to make small changes here or there. Intuitively, it feels like maybe trying. The intuitive example that I'm getting is being out and about, kind of window shopping, and then randomly seeing something unique, and then making a spur of the moment choice to purchase that item that you've seen. So essentially, I'm getting that example because this is the Prince of Wands. Someone who is able to work for and bring in the things that they want, but they have an immature nature about them. So that's why it seems that you are making small choices here or there to gain new material possessions or to change something about your physical surroundings, in the hopes of maybe receiving that satisfaction. However, with the Four of Cups in reverse, you are not still receiving that satisfaction. And with this followed by the Queen of Discs in reverse, the changes that you made or adapted to with this Prince of Wands, so it could have been something in your physical environment, small things in your physical environment that you changed. Maybe you decluttered your space. Maybe you've added new accessories to your living space, or maybe you just purchase little small knickknacks here and there to add to your space or to add to your material possessions. But with this Queen of Discs following the Four of Cups in reverse, both in reverse, it feels that you are not satisfying yourself in the way that you hope to satisfy yourself. Typically, the Four of Cups, for me, the way I interpret, is actually a partnership card. However, because you have the Prince of Wands and the Queen of Discs on either side of the card, that indicates to me that this is actually a partnership with yourself. So consciously, you're wanting something different about your surroundings or your possessions, but unconsciously or subconsciously, it's not fulfilling you. And because this Queen of Discs is also under this Knight of Discs, that indicates that, to me, that this Queen of Discs is relative to the Knight of Discs. You initially presented as the Knight of Discs in reverse, and now you're presenting, after attempting to make changes, as the Queen of Discs in reverse. So it feels, both of these are partner cards, so that also supports this Four of Cups being reflective of just yourself. It's a partnership between how you consciously feel and how you emotionally feel. Consciously, you're wanting something different. Emotionally, you're not satisfying that. So it feels that with you initially presenting as the Knight of Cups in your overview and presenting in your Queen of Cups in your past energy, you more so began to release control of your desire of wanting something different, and with you realizing that you're unable to satisfy your physical satisfaction, you are also, or you have also moved into a period of reflecting or reflecting on your surroundings and or possessions, and trying to understand more deeply about your surroundings and possessions. Because it's the Queen, it's a feminine card, so it is someone who is more receptive and reflective than the Knight or the Prince. And because you have the Knight of Discs moving down to the Prince of Wands, and then moving from the Prince of Wands, technically not down, but I would say it is a lower state, with it being the Queen of Discs. This is a feminine card, whereas these two are masculines. So it's like you're moving from a heavy masculine to a less heavy masculine, and then to a feminine. That to me indicates that you emotionally are drawing back from what it is you were feeling. And I said technically you're not moving down because between this Prince of Wands and Queen of Discs, because within court suits from lowest to highest, the order is Princess, Prince, Queen, and then Knights. But I feel that you are backing away in your emotions because this is a masculine card and this is a feminine card. I do believe that masculine energy is bigger in a way, or is more energetically dynamic than feminine energy, because masculine energy has a more active role. So that's why I feel that it's this particular dynamic flow indicates you moving down or backing away from the feelings that you were having. And so with these three cards follows the Tower card in the upright. This indicates that from you realizing you are still not satisfied with the attempts you made to fulfill your material possessions or physical surrounding satisfaction, it causes conflict for you. And intuitively, I believe that this is causing conflict for you because you, Taurus, you do govern material possessions, with you being ruled by Venus. And that's just the archetype of your sign in general, someone who likes to have things, who loves to be satisfied by material possessions and material things, and you are not experiencing this, so it's causing you conflict. It's causing upheaval for you. And so moving into your present from this conflict, you have the Ace of Swords upright, the Knight of Swords upright, the Knight of Cups reversed, and the Star reversed. With the Ace of Swords upright, this is an energy dynamic that from you, what's intuitively coming to me is mental and emotional anguish. With this Tower card, you are so peeved that you're not satisfied with your current situation, even though this is in the past. You're so dissatisfied that with this Ace of Swords upright, you are brainstorming for what you can do. You're brainstorming about what you can do. The Ace suits indicates new creativity, new creation, or new beginning, because this is a sword suit, which does govern mental ability, thought patterns. This card is stating that you were trying to brainstorm what it is that you can change or do differently around yourself that will provide that satisfaction. And this card moves into the Nine of Swords in the upright. That is a very significant jump. This dynamic supports the Tower card from your past energy in saying that you so badly want to figure out what is this satisfying you, that you went from brainstorming to a full-blown mental troubleshoot with this Nine of Swords. This is very heavy thinking. And it's very heavy thinking without coming to a resolution. Had you come into a resolution, the card most likely would have presented as the Ten of Swords, 10 being the number of completion. But since this is the Nine of Swords, Intuitively, what I'm picking up is that this is the Nine of Swords, because you are on the right track in figuring out what it is that you're dissatisfied with, but you haven't quite gotten there. And so with this Knight of Cups in reverse following these, since you're on the right track with this Nine of Swords, this card feels, intuitively it feels, well actually both of these cards, the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Star in reverse, intuitively both of these cards feel that they are your internal dynamic. So with this Knight of Cups in reverse, you are on the right track to understanding what it is that will satisfy you. But because you have this Nine of Swords, you haven't quite reached it. And with this Star card in reverse, this intuitively feels that you are needing patience. Intuitively, what I'm picking up from this card is that your higher forces are wanting you to see and act more earthly. The active effort they want from you is not to attempt to physically change your surroundings or your possessions, but they're wanting you to be more proactive in your emotional capacity with this Knight of Cups, because he is the highest court card and he's masculine. This indicates an active or more active effort into discovering and understanding your own emotions, because the Star card follows the Knight of Cups. I'm intuitively sensing that your spirit guides or your higher forces, whomever you spiritually follow and depend on, are wanting you to pull back your physical effort, your mental effort, and just be in your emotions. Let me see what else is coming through for this card, because the Star is a very spiritual card. It can be very deep and insightful, so sometimes the energy requires a bit more focus than other cards to understand. Okay, yes. It feels that what's coming through to me from this card is that your higher forces are wanting you to be within your current situations in an earthly capacity, not in a spiritual manner, because the Star card is in the reverse. And more so, choose to stay within your emotions, how you feel, because that will uncover deeper and underlying emotions for what you're feeling, why you're having this dissatisfaction with your surroundings or with your possessions currently. And so, with you choosing to stay put, since you did attempt to make changes, from the Star card, with you choosing to stay put and to simply reflect emotionally, moving into the future we have for you, is the Eight of Cups in the upright, the Empress reverse, Princess of Swords upright, and Princess of Wands upright. Taurus, I did not look at this row as I was reading your present, and the first card supports the intuition I was picking up from this Star card. The Eight of Cups in the upright indicates an energy of staying within your emotions. 8 numerologically is a number of infinity, so it signifies continuity, diligence, consistency, and maintenance. And with the cups being the emotional suits, this card is stating, yes, in the future, what you're needing or what you will be moving into is a consistent maintenance of your current emotions. And that's what I was intuitively sensing from this Star card. That you're needing to stay within your emotions, within your current emotions, because being within them will allow for deeper feelings to uncover. And that will allow you for better understanding of why it is that you feel the way that you do, why you're having this dissatisfaction with your surroundings or your possessions. And so with you staying within your emotions, uncovering maybe hidden aspects of what you're feeling, or there's something else that's wanting to come out after I said that. Uncovering hidden aspects of what you're feeling, but also discovering new ways to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life. I was intuitively sensing that this Ace of Cups in the upright is connected with this Eight of Cups in the upright. And I just randomly scratched my ear right now while I was saying that, so I think that's confirmation as well. This Ace of Cups is connected with this Eight of Cups, and they almost rhyme. Maybe this dissatisfaction that you're feeling is because you're wanting to mature and grow into different emotions. And I think this Empress in the reverse supports that. The Empress is a very mature, emotionally sensitive, and emotionally attuned being. But because she's in the reverse, you are wanting, or you're starting to adapt to being emotionally mature and attuned, but you're not quite there. You're still needing more work. And especially with this followed by the Princess of Swords and the Princess of Wands in the upright, both indicate feminine beings who are initiative in their pursuits. The Princess of Swords specifically in problem solving or conflict resolution, anything that requires mental work, and the Princess of Wands in physical effort and physical manifestation, active creation towards a particular goal or pursuit. Because these are following the princess, or the princess, because these are following the Empress in the reverse, it feels that you are needing to work on something. In order to gain that emotional maturity. So, it feels that what you have been doing in the past in order to fulfill your satisfaction, because you have the Prince of Wands coming out in your past energy, is not what you need to fulfill the emotional satisfaction. What you are needing that will fulfill that emotional satisfaction is going to be showing up for you in the near future, since this is your future row. Something with your emotional reflection, there's going to be something that's coming up for you within the next month or so, Taurus, that will allow you to understand better how you can work towards your satisfaction, because both of these are going to indicate an active effort into a mental and physical pursuit. Overall, your reading feels very complete and whole. I, however, would like to pull clarifier cards for this Princess of Wands, just so you, Taurus, are able to have a better understanding of the situation that may be coming forward, that will allow you to gain your satisfaction. Taurus, to clarify this Princess of Wands in your future energy, we have the Eight of Cups in the upright, the Knight of Cups in the reverse, the Ace of Rods or Wands in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Honestly, Taurus, I don't believe that Spirit has finalized how it is that this dynamic is going to look for you. Either it hasn't been finalized or Spirit is not wanting me to know, because this is a future dynamic already, so it is a bit counterintuitive to try to read further into the dynamic, but I was wanting to do so just to get an understanding for how you're able to know that this dynamic is happening for you when it happens. But I'm saying that I don't think the physical dynamic is finalized by spirit, or spirit doesn't want me to know. Because before I even try to understand the dynamic of the card set itself, I noticed that these first two cards have already come out for you. This is actually incorrect, but what was intuitively coming to me is that these cards have come out already. The Eight of Cups is still the same. This Knight of Cups technically is different. The Knight of Cups in this particular deck refers to the Prince of Cups within this card deck here. They have different names, but the actual wording of it was the same, so without me realizing or without me remembering that they're actually different cards, I was picking up that they're the same card, and I think that's for a reason. But regardless, they do have similar meaning. This cup is going, or this card, this being, the Knight of Cups, who is also the Prince of Cups, he's less mature than this Knight of Cups. But what was also indicating to me that this is not ready yet is because you have these aces that complete the suits for you. In your main spread, you have the Ace of Cups presenting in the upright, and you have the Ace of Swords presenting in the upright. Now for your clarifiers, you have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So technically you have a full ace suit. However, because these two cards were showing up after these two cards that were already presented for yourself, this was indicating to me that there is not a beginning. The ace, as I stated earlier, the ace suits indicate new beginning, new creations, but because these are in the reverse, this indicates to me that the creation or the new beginning hasn't happened yet. It's not happening yet. So while I was shuffling, it was taking some time for the cards to present than usual, and so I was already intuitively sensing that I wasn't meant to be pulling for this Princess of Wands. So based on the intuitive sensings I was feeling during shuffling, and based on the actual cards presented themselves and how they're presenting to me, I'm going to leave your reading as is. You have an emotional dissatisfaction with your current situation, your physical surroundings, or your material possessions, specifically because this Five of Discs came out first. It specifically has to do with your material possessions, and or your physical surroundings. And because this particular dynamic set is for your future, this is the actual period of you reflecting and you yourself discovering what it is that you're needing to do with the Princess of Swords and Princess of Wands to fulfill that emotional satisfaction. I do believe that it also has to do with your sense of emotional maturity, since you have this Empress in the reverse, following the Eight of Cups. The reflection and deeper look that you are undergoing with this Eight of Cups will cause you to be more emotionally mature. And so you're needing that maturity with this Empress in order for this Princess of Swords and Princess of Wands dynamic to surface or to be fulfilled. So that is what I have for you, Taurus. I know it's difficult to not be happy with what's currently going on. I absolutely understand that. I'm a Taurus rising myself. And with Taurus being Venus ruled, very Venus, I know that it is difficult to not be able to feel completely satisfied and appreciate the things that you currently have, because that's what you want, Taurus. You want to be satisfied. A Taurus is not a Taurus if they're not satisfied. Taurus live for satisfaction, and you simply do not have that. So I'm very sorry for that, but reflect more deeply on what you're feeling. Try to understand why you're feeling it, and just allow yourself to deepen your emotions and your thoughts, and your higher forces will be presenting new opportunity for you with these two Princess cards here. And all three of these are very feminine. This is a more mature feminine, and the princesses are a lighthearted, playful feminine, which I think definitely describes Taurus. So your higher forces are bringing something specifically for you, Taurus. That's all that I have for you. I will be moving forward with the remaining fixed signs. Thank you for joining me. Good evening, Leo. Welcome to your November 2024 to December 2024 energy reading. I have already reshuffled the cards for you off screen, so let's get into your messages. Okay, for Leo, rising and sun, we have overview, past, present, and future energy dynamics. In your overview, Leo, you have the Four of Swords reverse, the Eight of Cups reverse, the Prince of Swords upright, and the Princess of Wands upright. Okay, Leo, overall, I think for you, your reading is actually going to involve a partner of yours. I say that because you have the Four Swords. The Four Suits, for me and the way I interpret, does indicate a partnership. And you also have the Prince of Swords and Princess of Wands coming out. Sometimes being cards can represent a single physical being, but intuitively I do sense that these are going to be different beings. And with the Four Swords as well, the two being cards and the Four Swords do indicate to me that this is a partnership. But within this partnership, because you have the Four Swords coming out in the reverse, this is stating that you and your partner are not in mental alignment or agreement with each other. If you are physically in a relationship, you and your person, this doesn't feel like you guys are arguing and bickering the way this intuitively feels. It more so feels that you're just not in alignment anymore. What I'm intuitively feeling is the image that's being mentally presented to me is two beings within the same living space who are not communicating. It feels that you and your partner, if this is someone that is physically manifested for you, you and your partner have grown distant from each other. If you are a Leo who is not in a physical relationship, it could be that your divine partner, because the Four Suits, it represents partnership, but I also see it specifically as being divine partnerships. If you don't have a physically manifested partner, then your current thought patterns and your person's thought patterns are not in alignment or agreement with each other. And so from this mental disconnect that you're starting to have with your partner, it's causing one or the both of you to emotionally draw back with this Eight of Cups in the reverse. The Eight of Cups upright indicates a consistent or continual emotional habits or continuous and consistent emotional stability. Because this card is showing up in reverse, this indicates that you are drawing back from that energy. The emotions and feelings that you had been experiencing with this person, you or the other person, but because this is your reading, I feel that it is you, Leo. You're no longer emotionally feel the same way about this person that you once have. Okay. I was wanting to pick up on the dynamics of the Prince of Swords and Princess of Wands just to get an understanding, because initially they were intuitively feeling as if they're two different beings. However, I initially thought that the Princess of Wands was you specifically, but I now feel that you are being represented as the Prince of Swords and your partner is being represented as the Princess of Wands. That's what I intuitively am feeling about these cards. And so, with there being a mental disconnect between you and your partner, you have started to emotionally pull away. You, being the Prince of Swords in the upright, you are trying to mentally resolve and understand why you and your partner are having this disconnect. And you're wanting to come into mental alignment because you are the Prince of Swords. You are having initiative thought patterns as to what can solve this mental situation that you're in with your partner. However, with your partner showing up as the Princess of Wands, this feels to me that your partner is making physical effort to change the actual relationship. So honestly, Leo, it feels that you are trying to figure out how to repair your relationship, but your partner is wanting to physically do something different. And I genuinely feel that your partner is physically pulling away from this partnership. Intuitively, the way these two cards feel, they feel very strongly connected. So it could be that this is a divine partnership that is having difficulty, or this is just a really close relationship that feels right, or it feels as if it should be right, but is actually not. The way the cards intuitively feel, I do strongly believe this is a divine partnership. If this is someone that you're physically in a relationship with, this is someone you're meant to be in a relationship with, and you guys are simply in a disconnected state right now. If this is someone who is not physically manifested for you, this feels as if your partner, the Princess of Wands, is wanting to more physically connect with you, Leo, but you are stuck in your head, essentially. So, the way this is playing out, if your partner is not physically manifested for you, Leo, you're having a mental disconnect from your partner and emotionally pulling away because you're not thinking about them. You are thinking some because you are the Prince of Swords, but I feel that you're showing up as the Prince of Swords if you are single, Leo, because you are focused on yourself. You're not focused on this partnership. And with your partner showing up as the Princess of Wands, for single Leos, this mental disconnect and the emotional difference is because you're focused on yourself and your partner is wanting to bring in your partnership, because they're showing up as the Princess of Wands, someone who initiates action and movement and change. So, for Leos that are in a relationship, it feels that your partner is wanting to change aspects about the relationship, but you are not quite yet understanding. You're still trying to figure out what it is that's wrong with what it is that's making the relationship feel disconnected. But I really think that your partner is wanting to grow within your relationship. That is how this Princess of Wands intuitively feels for Leos in a relationship. For your past energy, Leo, you have coming out for you the Magician upright, the Adjustment upright, the Nine of Discs in the reverse, and the Six of Swords in the upright. Okay, I think this dynamic set supports the intuitive feelings I was getting. I honestly think this reading is going to be directed more towards Leos currently in a relationship. But I will still read and interpret from an understanding point of view for single Leos. But I do intuitively feel that this reading is more for Leos in a relationship. But in your past energy with the Magician upright, it feels, Leo, that you, in order to understand and work through your relationship dynamic, which I feel that you are sensing is disconnected, you are utilizing your spiritual ability and gifts. Intuitively, it feels that you're asking the universe or God or whichever higher forces you utilize and depend on to bring to you understanding of your relationship. That is, the Magician card can indicate personal spiritual manifestation, so you manifesting your particular goal yourself. But what I'm intuitively sensing is that you're not directly manifesting what it is you want because you don't know what it is you want. You have this disconnect that you're not understanding, that you're wanting to understand. And so the way that you're trying to manifest this understanding is by asking your higher forces to show you what the disconnect is. And this card is followed by the Adjustment card, which in other decks are, which in other decks is also the Justice card. And so especially because the adjustment or the Justice follows the Magician, this more strongly indicates to me that you were asking your higher forces to show you what the disconnect is. And so with this Justice card and the upright, you are, this is the response to your request. You are being shown what is right and what is not right. And what is not right is that with this Nine of Discs in the reverse, this reaffirms the intuition that I was getting about your partner, the Princess of Wands. The Nine of Discs in reverse indicates that there is something in your physical surroundings or your material possessions that you're wanting to have, but you simply don't have, or you're unable to acquire it. And with this followed by the Six of Swords in the upright, you are beginning to think on how you can acquire this missing disc, the 10th and final disc that will complete and fulfill your satisfaction. Honestly, intuitively, what came to me, because I am a psychic intuitive and psychic medium, what came to me as I was speaking about this Nine of Discs is honestly a child. I don't want to be too forward before I get into the rest of the reading, but I intuitively sense that for some Leos, this 10th disc that you do not have, and I think that your partner is wanting to have, I genuinely believe this is a child, a pregnancy. And to the Six of Swords could also support that, because the 6 suits specifically refer to a new creation or a new beginning following an evolution. 5 numerologically is the number of physical change. And so the 6 suits indicate a continuation or a renewal following an evolution. It's specifically how it is you proceed and move forward from an evolutionary state. And so I think because this Six of Swords is coming out after this Nine of Discs, that I am intuitive and am intuiting is related to a child or pregnancy. I think you are wanting to begin consideration towards expanding your family, or at least you are opening, or you have, since this is the past, you have opened yourself up to that consideration. Now, for single Leos, what I'm intuiting is that you were understanding that you have this deeper mental and emotional dissatisfaction or disconnect because your person is not physically manifested for you. It's something that you were most likely intuiting on your own. And so in your past dynamic, whether consciously or unconsciously, you were wanting to understand that disconnect, and we're looking towards your guides and understanding that disconnect. Or because this is the Magician card, it could also indicate that you yourself were physically seeking that understanding yourself. You could have been more physically manifesting. By what's intuitively coming to me is a situation in which someone allows themselves to open up and go out into the world to look for just anything that would satisfy them. It's like you were putting yourself out into the community in hopes of the missing satisfaction being brought to you. That is what I'm intuitively picking up for the single Leos. And so your higher forces did respond to you with this Justice card and showing you what it is that satisfies you, what it is that doesn't satisfy you. And with this Nine of Discs in reverse, you received the understanding of what it is that you're missing. Intuitively, nothing is mentally coming to me what this is, because I think the missing disc is your partner, this Princess of Wands. Because as I stated for your overview, if you are a single Leo, you have a partner who is wanting to physically be with you because they're showing up as the Princess of Wands, but you haven't mentally recognized this person since you're showing up as the Prince of Swords, and the disconnect you're having is the Four of Swords. That indicates that this sword disconnect has to do with you, because you are in the Swords energy. Intuitively, I'm not sensing anything with this Nine of Discs because I think it has already been shown. Whereas for partnered Leos, I got the mental vision of a pregnancy when looking at this Nine of Discs. And so with the Six of Swords following this Nine of Discs for single Leos, I think that intuitively what I'm sensing while you were within this Magician energy, putting yourself out into your community and manifesting your understanding in that way, and especially with the Nine of Discs in reverse, I think you may have physically met your person. I think you may have come into physical contact, unconsciously or consciously. Because the word unconsciously came out first, I think that is the more accurate dynamic, where I think you may have stumbled upon your person and don't realize it. And I think that could also be reflective with the Nine of Discs in the reverse. Because had this come out in the upright, that could still indicate that you've come into contact with someone who would be your Ten of Discs, but because it will be the Nine of Discs, you don't have them yet. And so what I'm sensing with it being in reverse is that you not only don't have your 10th disc, who is your partner, with this being in the nine of discs, but specifically because it's reversed, it's giving a feeling of you just missing, or you somehow evading this nine of discs. But you being out and you coming into contact with your person, whether you realize it or not, that does mentally open you up to the idea of relationships with the Six of Swords in the upright. I'm sorry if that was a bit confusing, because I feel that I am now performing two readings, which this is the first time this has happened, but I genuinely feel that Leo, your partner is coming through in this reading. And so I would like to be accurate. I don't want to give a full reading for a partnership if it happens to be a Leo who's single that's watching this. So that's why I'm kind of giving dual readings right now for partnered and unpartnered Leos. And I'm okay with that, and I hope that you are able to understand and you are okay with that as well, because that's generally how this feels. I really want these readings to be just for an individual, but I very strongly feel that your partner is making themselves known. And so moving into the present, the dynamics we have for you, Leo, are the Four of Discs in the upright, the Sun reverse, the Seven of Wands reverse, and the World card reverse. So for single Leos, I will read for single Leos first. It feels with you mentally opening yourself up to a potential partnership with the Six of Swords, excuse me. Okay. I was trying to get an understanding of that verbal slip that I had, because I think that everything happens for a reason. And so I was trying to understand if maybe a message was wanting to be communicated with that word slippage, but I'm not sure. Because what I said was Six of Words instead of Six of Swords. So I don't know if maybe that will connect for someone. Something about 6 words will connect for someone. But in your present energy, definitely supports what I was picking up from your past. With the Four of Discs in the upright, this indicates that from your past energy, you are now for sure in more physical alignment with your partner. As I stated before, the 4 suits, for the way I interpret our partnership cards, the disc suit specifically refers to physical surroundings, physical manifestations and possessions, or your physical satisfaction. So this is indicating that you and your partner are in physical satisfaction and alignment with each other. And so for my single Leos, I think with the Sun card coming out in reverse, you meeting your partner is not something that you were expecting, or I think that you were even wanting. It feels that, especially because you have this Prince of Swords coming out as well, it feels like you were genuinely focused on yourself. And with you coming into physical contact and alignment with your partner, it's throwing your sense of self off with the Sun card in reverse. Which is an interesting thing to say about a Leo, because the Sun, Leo, you are ruled by the Sun, even though in the tarot deck, your specifically attributed card isn't the Sun. I still am relating and attributing this card to your sign because you are ruled by the Sun. But this card upright represents the sense of self. It can also represent new creations or new beginnings. And because it's in the reverse, this indicates that you are not your typical sense of self, and or you are not open to new beginnings and new creation. And I think that's because you weren't expecting and or wanting this partnership. It just happened. But with this followed by the Seven of Wands, this indicates that you are letting go of your rejection. The Seven of Wands upright indicates a pursuit towards a particular goal without seeing result. And so with this being in the reverse, this is indicating to me that you weren't you weren't even allowing yourself to go towards this partnership. But one moment. I'm trying to get a better understanding of this card. Okay, yes. Yes, you are letting go your sense of rejection towards this partnership. Specifically, I just lost the specific understanding and interpretation that I had for this card. Your rejection of an inability to bring the partnership in, which would be indicated by the Seven of Wands upright, is no longer happening because it's with it being in the reverse. And so that's essentially stating that what I'm intuitively sensing is that you realize you should be opening yourself up more to the idea and to the potential of this partner, but you're still having some hesitations with it, especially this being the seven suits. Seven numerologically can indicate an unfulfillment. And so with the 7 card coming out, this does indicate that there is some kind of unfulfillment happening. And especially with this being followed by the universe or the world card in the reverse, I think that you unconsciously are open to the idea of this partnership, especially if this is a divine partnership, which I do feel it is, because you have 2 partnership cards coming out, and you actually have your partner inserting themselves into your reading. You unconsciously are open to this partnership now, but you are needing more conscious acceptance of this. And I think that you are needing to go within yourself with this universe card in the reverse to understand why it is that you are not fully open to this partnership. Now, for Leos in a relationship, I think this dynamic flow again supports what I have been intuitively sensing about your card dynamic. And it's so strange. The cards themselves are not stating that you're wanting, or that the cards themselves are not specifically indicating a pregnancy. It's what I'm intuitively sensing. But every time I talk about this pregnancy, my ear starts to itch. And I very strongly believe that that's because that is accurate. I will certainly pull clarifier cards specifically for you, Leo, in a relationship later on, just to confirm, just to see if we have actual cards that come out that will specifically indicate a pregnancy for you. But that is genuinely what I'm intuitively sensing for you, Leo. But for Leo's in a relationship, moving forward from your past energy in which you have opened yourself up to considering expanding with your partner, you have come into physical alignment in this partnership. And with this, I think your present road dynamic, based on me reading for partnered Leos, I think that presently you are coming into acceptance of expanding your family. With the 4 of this in the upright, this indicates a physical alignment in your partnership. The Sun card in reverse, this indicates that you are moving away from your sense of self, which can absolutely happen when you're going to be introducing a child into your life. You're not yourself anymore. With the 7 of Wands in the reverse, you're letting go of that rejection towards having a child or having a pregnancy. And with the world or the universe in the reverse, you're again going within yourself and deepening your own wisdom and spiritual insight. So I feel that this flow of cards supports, again, the cards are not physically indicating a pregnancy. It's simply what I am intuitively sensing. So if you want to accept the dynamic flow as being a single Leo, regardless if you're in a partner, if you're absolutely not open to the idea of a pregnancy, please feel free to do so. But I am very strongly intuitively sensing that your partner is wanting to expand your family, and that you are now opening yourself up to the idea of that expansion and accepting that. And you are adjusting with the Sun card in reverse, the World card in reverse, and the Seven of Wands in reverse. You're trying to internally adjust yourself to that idea, to that situation. Now, to move into the future for you, Leo, the cards coming out for you are the Tower in reverse, the Five of Cups in reverse, the Six of Discs in reverse, and the Two of Wands in the reverse. I think because all of these cards are in the reverse, that definitely supports what I was picking up in the before row, where regardless of if you're in a relationship or if you're single, you are evolving your sense of self right now with this, from this World card or the Universe card in the reverse. You're evolving your sense of self, and so that's being reflected in your future with all of these cards being in reverse. But the actual dynamic for single, to begin with single Leos, after you've lost your sense of self from being introduced to this partnership, but you've lost your sense of self because you're opening yourself up to the idea of being in this partnership, and you are going within to understand your situation better. You're able, in the future coming up, you're able to let go of the mental disconnect that you were experiencing with the Tower card in the reverse. The Tower card refers to a very heavy situation that essentially it would cause an entire tower to collapse, is how demanding and heavy that situation is. That's why it's the Tower card. So I feel that for single Leos, this Tower card is coming out specifically because you were so heavily, whether consciously or unconsciously, rejecting this partnership. However, I feel that it's more so unconscious than conscious. And the Tower card could be presenting because it so heavily goes against what your higher forces are wanting for you. Like I stated, I do very firmly believe this is a divine partnership, and because you were denying yourself this partnership, that goes against essentially your life path, which is why this Tower card specifically is coming out. Because other cards could have come out to indicate that you are experiencing a heavy situation. For example, the Five of Cups could similarly indicate a heavy or difficult situation, but any major arcana card is going to have a greater and more long-standing dynamic than the minor arcana cards. And so I think this Tower card is coming out to indicate how heavy the situation is. And I think that the situation is so heavy because it's a divine partnership. This is someone that you're needing to be with. So, you coming out of this essentially rejection of your divine partner, you are able to stabilize your emotions better with this Five of Cups in reverse. You're able to come out of the emotional rejection. However, I don't think for you, single Leo, you are able to physically bring in this partner. I think you were only physically in, and what I'm intuitively was sensing from your past energy. You came into physical contact with your partner, and so that's why in your present energy you have the Four of Discs, where your body, your soul knows that this person physically exists because you came into physical contact, that I was intuitively sensing. I don't think you are in a position where you can actually go towards this person just yet. I think you were introduced to the idea of this person, but you're unable, you are still needing more work to actually bring your person in. With you stabilizing your emotional pattern with this Five of Cups in reverse, the Six of Discs in reverse indicates that you're wanting to go towards this new physical manifestation. As I stated, the Six Suits refers to a continuation or a renewal beyond an evolutionary period. So you've changed how you feel, or you will be changing how you feel about your current physical situation, physical manifestation, Leo, but you're unable to move forward from that because you have not fully stabilized your new sense of self with this Two of Wands being in the reverse. And especially with this Two of Wands being directly under the universe in reverse, it feels that in the future you are going to be working on stabilizing your new sense of self while keeping in mind that your sense of self has to involve this partner, a partnership. And I also stated, I stated that you're not able to physically bring in the partner. Also because you have this Two of Wands. The card that would have indicated you more actively working on the partnership directly would have been the Four of Wands. But because this is the Two of Wands, this indicates a self-work, working on yourself. And because this is in the reverse, this is stating that you either are not able to fully understand yourself, or you're just simply not understanding yourself. But I think because it's the Wands suit, you're not able to understand. You still are needing time to figure out how to understand yourself. And what intuitively came to me as I was stating that was, you're needing to open yourself up more to being in a relationship. Because understanding that you are to be in a relationship will thus allow you to begin understanding who you will be and who you are in a relationship. But you don't have that sense yet because you haven't fully opened yourself up to this partnership. Now, for partnered Leos, you coming into acceptance and agreement with your partner on this new expansion to you all's relationship. You also have lost your sense of self. You've moved away from rejecting bringing in this pregnancy, and you started to go within to essentially to mature. You're growing. With this Tower card in reverse, you were also stabilizing the conflict that you were having with the idea of this expansion for you. You also are stabilizing your emotions and coming into emotional agreement with yourself that this is what's going to be happening for you. In the future, at least, you will be. Now, with the Six of Discs and the Two of Wands reversed for you partnered Leos, I'm trying to get a better understanding of the Six of Discs for you. Okay. Intuitively, the way this card feels is it feels empty. And so I think what it's trying to say within this dynamic you are mentally and emotionally stabilizing yourself after initially not being open, or at least not being as initiative in wanting this pregnancy. You are coming to terms and with the idea of the pregnancy and opening yourself up. And with the Six of Discs in reverse, what is intuitively coming to me is this feels as if you are essentially reflecting on the Six of Discs in reverse. You're looking at the fact that you could be experiencing the Six of Discs upright, which could be interpreted as the pregnancy itself, since it's a new physically acquired material possession. And I know that sounds awful to refer to a child as a material possession, but they are a physical manifestation. The Six of This is in the reverse for you because you are reflecting on the idea and the potential of this new creation from your evolutionary change. As I already stated, the meaning of the six suits numerologically, new creation or a new beginning after an evolution. Having a child is an evolution, especially if this is your first child, which I am intuitively, I feel that way because it's your partner who's wanting to go towards this pregnancy, not necessarily you. And the both of you have presented as the prince and princess. You're not the knight or the queen, so the two of you are not as matured as other beings as you could be. So I feel you all are a bit immature as it relates specifically to being and having your own family. Just another way to say that you all have not had children yet, basically. And so you're reflecting on this new potential. And the Two of Wands is coming out for you specifically in the reverse because you are actively choosing to lose yourself. The two suits refers to your sense of self. It's in the reverse for you, partnered Leo, because you're allowing yourself to grow and expand your current sense of self, so that way you can be prepared for this child, this pregnancy. You don't want to remain as yourself. Now, for single Leos, I don't feel I need to pull clarifier cards for you, but what I will do is I will pull love message cards for you. And I wasn't expecting to actually pull love message cards because I don't intend to do so with these general zodiac readings. But because the way that the Leo reading turned out, where it seems that there are dual readings, one for relationship Leos and one for single Leos, I'm going to go off screen and reshuffle my love deck, and I will return and shuffle the cards out for you. And after I have performed the love messages for the single Leos, just so you have an understanding of this relationship potential moving forward in the future, I will pull clarifier cards for the relationship, the partnered Leos, just to confirm if this is a pregnancy that I'm intuitively sensing. So I will be back. Okay, I reshuffled my love messages tarot deck just to clear any of the previous energy that may have been lingering. As I said, I didn't intend to pull love message cards, so I hadn't reshuffled before, but just so you know, 4 is my spirit number, which is why I divinate a 4 by 4 general spread. But for the love messages specifically, I divinate a 6 card spread, because 6 is the spirit number for the person I perceive to be my divine partner. Okay, Leo, or single Leo, to take a look into the love messages for you. We have the 9 of Swords upright, the 4 of Wands reversed, the Wheel of Fortune reversed, the 8 of Swords reversed, and the 8 of Wands reversed and the Empress reversed. So for my single Leos, since I felt I didn't need to pull clarifiers for your main spread, I think the cards were indicating very straightforwardly that for single Leos, you are not yet consciously in alignment and open to the idea of this partnership, but I very strongly feel that this partnership is for you. You have 2 with the 4 of Discs and the 4 of Swords. That's 2 partnership cards, plus you also had these 2 being cards, which I was intuitively sensing. The Princess of Wands being your partner inserting themselves into the reading. And so because I felt that there was a very clear understanding of your regular spread in stating that essentially you have allowed yourself to open up to the idea of the partnership, but you yourself are needing to more stabilize in that idea. I didn't need to pull clarifiers, but I wanted to pull love message cards for you just to see if maybe we can look into this relationship and understand why it is that you are having this disconnect with it. And based on this card spread, I feel that you just simply don't want this relationship. I'm sorry to laugh, but honestly, the way, the way these cards are flowing, it really feels that you don't want this relationship. With this 9 of Swords in the upright, this indicates very heavy thinking on a situation without being able to fully resolve it. You have a just short, incomplete mental perspective towards a particular situation. Had you completed or resolved the situation, that would have been indicated by the Ten of Swords. Because it's one sword short, you're very heavily thinking on it, but you're unable to resolve the actual problem. And this is followed by the Four of Wands in reverse. Very funny that it's sitting on top of this Four of Discs upright. So it feels that the Wands indicates a physical manifestation, or it's the act of physical manifestation, and the discs or the pentacles, in other decks it's the pentacles. The discs or the pentacles refer to the actual physical manifestation itself. So the Wands is essentially the verb form of manifestation, and the disc or pentacles is the noun form of manifestation. And this Four of Wands is sitting directly, at least based on how I laid it out, it happened to be sitting directly over this Four of Discs. So that also indicates more strongly to me that from your regular spread, you are in physical alignment with this partner, because from your past energy, I stated that your guides allowed you to come into physical contact with this person. And so I think that allowed your soul to realize that you have a partner and open yourself up that way. But with this Four of Wands, you physically are unable to verb form manifest bringing in this partnership. And this is follow. So you're thinking heavily on this partnership, whether consciously or unconsciously. It could be that you yourself consciously are thinking on it, or it could be your soul is thinking on it. You're unable to bring the partnership in physically, but I feel that you are choosing to not bring this partnership in. With the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, this indicates the Wheel of Fortune upright refers to a dynamic in which someone allows the universe or spirit, your higher forces, or fate itself to decide what it is you receive. The Wheel of Fortune reverse indicates an act of choice to determine your fate. So because this is following the Four of Wands after the Nine of Swords, it feels that this Four of Wands is because you're choosing to not go towards this partnership. And these are followed by the Eight of Swords and Eight of Wands, both indicating that you're not only choosing to not go towards this person with the Eight of Wands in the reverse, but you're also not even wanting to think about them with the Eight of Swords in the reverse. So it feels that after you initially were thinking on this partnership, but you realized you're unable to bring it in, and so you chose to not work towards on bringing the relationship in, and instead chose to pull away your attempts and even thinking on the situation or wanting to bring it in. And I think it's because you or your partner are not in a stable sense of self as you should be. I intuitively feel that it's your partner. I say that because intuitively this just feels more feminine, like the dynamic of it is, but the card itself is also feminine because it's Empress. However, you can also be a feminine Leo, but Leo is also a masculine card. But what also indicates to me, and I pulled it just now, I don't know if my hand was showing up off screen, but I reached over back to my love messages deck, and the card that was very on top, because that was the last card that from that last shuffle that I didn't accept, was the Emperor. And I remembered it because after I saw that the Empress had come out and this was the last card that was lying on my desk here, I thought to myself, oh, look, partnership cards. But this wasn't an accepted card. But I'm stating this because I intuitively feel that you are meant to be the Emperor and your partner is meant to be the Empress. And I think that this disconnect that your soul is having is because your partner is not in the best position for themselves. So I think you're not wanting to bring this partnership in to allow your partner, your other person, the time and space to more stabilize themselves as well. While you are stabilizing yourself here from your future row, as indicated with the Two of Wands in reverse, because you weren't open to the partnership. But with the idea of this partnership, actually looking at its potential, you're unable to go towards it because within the dynamic of the partnership, your other person would not be in their best state. So it feels that especially since your partner was showing up as the Princess of Wands here, this could be that they're working on themselves, and I feel that they are because they're showing up in the love messages as the Empress, regardless if it's in the reverse. Their being card is within the Empress dynamic. They are just not fully embodying this Empress, but I think they're showing up in as the Princess of Wands in your regular deck because they are working on themselves. So, for single Leos, you do have a divine partnership that is starting to come into alignment. So I'm very happy for you for that. For my partnered Leos, I would like to pull clarifier cards for this Nine of Discs in reverse. This is the card that intuitively made me feel that this new direction for your relationship is being geared towards a pregnancy. I would like to pull clarifiers just to understand what this dynamic is, because as I stated before, and I'm so sorry that the reading is confusing if it is, since it seems there's two different Leo dynamics being played out. I'm very sorry for that, but I think it is for a reason, and I felt very strongly to do the reading that way. You partnered Leo were showing up as not being mentally open within your relationship dynamic, and your partner being presented as the Princess of Wands is the one who's wanting to move and change the relationship because she's showing up within the Wand suit, while you are still essentially in your head, with you being the Prince of Swords. So let's pull clarifiers to understand what it is about the relationship that your partner is wanting to move towards. Okay, Leo, to clarify the 9 of this for you, essentially the understanding you gained after requesting guidance from your higher forces. This is the understanding you received in regards to your relationship dynamic, why it is that you are having mental and emotional disconnect from your partnership. The cards coming out for you are the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse, the Magician upright, and the Hanged Man upright. I'm trying to get a deeper understanding of the cards because you do have 3 major arcana cards, and so these cards usually have some overarching or long-standing meaning. So the cards don't confirm a pregnancy. To clarify the understanding about your relationship that you receive, which is indicated with this Nine of Discs in reverse. This is very strange. I'm not receiving a clear understanding, especially because you have the High Priestess in reverse and the Magician card. Upright, both of these are two very spiritual cards. And so they're very deep, which makes the dynamic flow a bit muddy for me, a bit unclear for me. But okay. I think what is being, I can't even say indicated, but more so implied, is that the dynamic of your relationship is not as physically loving. And I feel that is in part from the more feminine partner within the relationship, who I feel will connect more with your partner, because I was intuitively sensing that you were represented as the Prince of Swords, Leo. You are the more masculine dynamic within your partnership, and your partner is the more feminine. So the Knight of Pentacles in reverse refers to this is a being card because the Knight is a person, but cards can also just generally represent energy dynamic, and I feel that's what this is, especially because what I was clarifying, the Nine of Discs is a situation, and all being cards came out to clarify the situation. So I think this Knight of Pentacles is more so reflective of the dynamic itself. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse is someone who wants to be able to romantically interact with their surroundings, what's going on around them, but who is unable to do so. And I say romantically not in the traditional sense, but I mean it as an intimate sense, just the way someone chooses to interact. I think anyone can interact in any situation romantically, in that they choose to be more intimate or more deeply connecting with that particular subject or focus. And so the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is indicating to me that there is a lack of intimacy being fulfilled within the dynamic, and I do believe it is on the part of the more feminine partner, your partner Leo, because the High Priestess has shown up in the reverse, and it's followed by the Magician card. The High Priestess and the Magician actually are divine partnerships, divine partners. It's a divine partnership between divine partners. The High Priestess and the Magician both are master manifestors, beings who are extremely spiritually connected and emotionally in tune. The High Priestess being the feminine counterpart and the Magician being the masculine counterpart. And so because she is showing up in the reverse, I feel that this does relate to your partner, since they did present as the feminine in the overview. And you also already presented, or at least your dynamics somewhat presented as the Magician upright as well in your past dynamic. But it's not stating it at all in regards, it's not stating anything in regards to a pregnancy, but I still intuitively feel that this is about a pregnancy. And this lack of intimacy your partner is experiencing is because she wants this pregnancy, since she showed up as the Princess of Wands initially. You, however, being the Magician, you're followed by the Hanged Man, someone who is needing to have a different perspective. He's called the Hanged Man because he has chosen to hang himself up down in order to look at the world differently. It implies gaining a new perspective. I also think you have these spiritual cards coming out because opening yourself up to the idea of this pregnancy is what's in your past dynamic. Actually opening yourself up, like the physical act of being open and gaining that deeper understanding, losing your sense of self, is what's currently happening because this is your present dynamic. And in the future, you're needing to more stabilize yourself still with this Tower and Five of Cups in reverse. But also the Six of Discs in reverse I indicated was you reflecting on this potential pregnancy. And then the Two of Wands was you still losing your sense of self or moving away from your current sense of self. Excuse me. And these cards very heavily these three cards very heavily feel spiritual. And so I think that's because this child, this pregnancy is not physically here yet, of course. But they also are not fully spiritually formed or decided on, because you are still needing to grow and to come into acceptance of this potential. I very strongly, intuitively feel that your partner is wanting to expand the family. You have some mental hesitation or even full-blown rejection of that. And I think that spiritually you are needing to look at your situation differently. You're needing to reconsider. So I'm sorry that I couldn't for sure confirm if this is in regards to a pregnancy, but that is what I am intuitively sensing. That's what's being given to me. So, thank you so much, Leos, for joining me here. That will conclude your reading. Just to recap, since I am doing dual readings, it seems, partnered Leos, for those of you having a disconnect with your partner is wanting something more out of your relationship. You're stuck in your head because you're the Prince of Swords. They are actively working on something because they're the Princess of Wands. I intuitively sense what they're wanting is to expand your family. For those that resonates with, you, Leo, are needing to open yourself up more to expanding your family and allowing yourself to grow into your new sense of self that you will be for your family. For single Leos, it feels that you were not or are not consciously aware of this divine partner that you have. You intuitively, it feels that you were allowed to be physically introduced by this person, introduced to this person by your guides, by your higher forces, in order to open your soul up to that potential. But you are needing to come into more acceptance of this partnership potential, and your partner is needing to work on themselves more. So the partnership is not yet ready to be manifested and brought in. So for both partnered and unpartnered Leos, the next step in your relationships, which for partnered Leos would be your family expansion, for unpartnered Leos, the partnership manifestation as well. For both of you, this new step in your relationship is still being worked through. That is what I have for you, Leos. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be continuing forward with the other fixed signs. Thank you. Good evening, Scorpio. Welcome to your November to December 2024 energy reading. Let's get into your messages. Okay, Scorpio rising and sun for November to December 2024. We have overview, past, present, and future energy dynamics for you. For your overview, the cards coming out for you are the Nine of Cups upright, Two of Wands upright, Five of Swords reverse, and Six of Cups reverse. Okay, Scorpio rising and sun. The overall impression from your overview cards is indicating that from November to December, you are in a period of self-care, essentially. You're focusing on just yourself. With the Nine of Cups and the Two of Wands, both upright, the Nine of Cups indicates that you are currently experiencing a period of happiness and fulfillment. Although there is something within your life that you're missing, whether you consciously realize it or not, there's something that your soul is missing and wanting. You don't have complete or fulfilled happiness because it's the Nine of Cups. There's one more cup that you're missing in order to have completion, but you are experiencing a happiness. And with the Two of Wands in the upright, this indicates that you are working on yourself. There are things physically going on around you or physically within yourself that you are working on. Intuitively, what I'm getting is a health focus sort of self-work going on. In my mind, I'm visually seeing like someone working out, someone eating healthier. So this Two of Wands, the two suits refers to self-satisfaction, and the Wand suit specifically refers to physical and active effort. So with it being the Two of Wands, you are putting in active effort towards yourself. And what I'm intuitively getting is that this looks for you to be in a state of self-care and self-maintenance, body improvement. With the Five of Swords and the Six of Cups both in reverse, following these two cards that indicate you pursuing self-care and self-maintenance, you are choosing to stay within these emotions. The Five of Swords in reverse indicates specifically a situation in which someone has the option or the opportunity to change their mindset. You are choosing to not do so, with it being in the reverse. Because this is directly following the Two of Wands, it gives me the impression that you don't have to be putting in this work for self-care and to improve your physical health that I intuitively sense you are doing. You're actively choosing to do so. You are rejecting the choice to not do so. And the Six of Cups in reverse indicates that you are choosing to not experience a particular new happiness. It could be what I'm intuitively sensing based on the preceding cards is you're choosing not to indulge, essentially. You, with this Two of Wands upright, you're choosing to take care of your body, take care of your physical health. And the Six of Cups in reverse indicates that a potential happiness you could be experiencing, you are not experiencing. And I intuitively feel that that particular happiness has to do with indulgences. So you are declining. It could be substances or alcohol or even sweets, because I was intuitively sensing that you are health focused. So even like junk food or sweets could be this happiness that you're choosing to not go towards. In your past energy, the cards coming out for you are the Two of Cups upright, the Nine of Wands reversed, the Seven of Wands upright, and the Ace of Swords upright. I'm just sensing further into the messages wanting to come through with this particular card flow. Okay, the Two of Cups upright indicates that in your past energy, you had been experiencing a feeling of emotional self-fulfillment, self-happiness. You were feeling very good about yourself. You were happy and satisfied with yourself. This is just past energy. This being followed by the Nine of Wands reverse and the Seven of Wands upright indicates that with you feeling good about yourself, you release control over some physical situation that you had going on. You release control over that situation and you've decided to end that situation with the Seven of Wands upright. What I'm intuitively sensing is that with these two cards, the Wand suit refers to physical and active effort or pursuit towards a particular goal. It feels that you're allowing yourself to relax, essentially. The Nine of Wands upright indicates hard work diligent effort towards a particular goal. Because it's in the reverse, this indicates that you have let go of that energy. The Seven of Wands upright indicates, it can indicate putting in active effort towards a goal without receiving result. However, I think for your reading specifically, because it's following the Nine of Wands, this indicates that you are choosing to not put in any effort at all. So this Nine of Wands reverse indicates that you are letting go of the effort that you were putting into your life externally. And the Seven of Wands indicates that you are choosing to not put in effort. So this is letting go, and this is already having let go. This is not moving forward. And with the Ace of Swords and the upright following this, it feels that this period of rest that you were in has allowed you to think more forwardly about what it is that you would like to do moving forward. The Ace of Swords specifically refers to new creative thoughts or ideas that you're having. So whatever it is that you were thinking on during this period of rest, it has sparked some new creativity, new ideas. What I'm intuitively getting is new ambition for you. You most likely found something that you would like to pursue moving forward that really brightens and initiates your creativity and your mental potential. Now moving into the present, the cards coming out for you are the Five of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Swords reverse, the Prince of Cups reverse, and the Ten of Cups reverse. Okay, so following this period of rest that you were experiencing with the two wand cards and the new creativity that was sparked from you being able to enjoy this rest, with the Five of Cups in the reverse here, this indicates that what I'm intuitively sensing is that from the ideas that you were getting with this Ace of Swords, it may have been something entirely new and completely different from what you have been used to, that it created some emotional upheaval or even doubt in your mind about this particular situation, where you weren't entirely sure if you wanted to interact with this new situation. But with the Five of Cups being in reverse, it feels that in your present energy, you have resettled your emotions and the way that you feel about the situation, and are moving into a period of acceptance of how you feel about the situation. And with the Eight of Swords in reverse following this, it feels that you had been in a state of overthinking the situation. The Eight of Swords upright indicates a cyclical thought pattern. It indicates overthinking or diligent thinking towards a mental problem. And so with this card being in reverse, following this Five of Cups in reverse, it supports this Five of Cups reverse in stating that you're letting go of this overthinking about the situation, and you are not just emotionally but also mentally accepting that this Ace of Swords energy is something you would like to move in. However, from you accepting this, you are presenting as the Prince of Cups in reverse. This indicates that whatever this situation is, this new idea that you would like to move into, it's something that's affecting your emotions, because for your present row, you have 3 Cups cards. It's something that is emotionally involved. And I feel that because you had this 9 of Cups, 2 of Wands, 2 of Cups, and then the overall impression I was getting for your overview with you being more health focused, it feels that you are coming into better emotional acceptance of this new way of life that you are choosing to move into, which is to be health conscious and health focused. And so the Prince of Cups in reverse is indicating that this situation, whatever it may be, even though I intuitively feel that it's about your choice in pursuing and maintaining a healthier lifestyle, it's causing you to feel emotional about it. And this card being in the reverse indicates that you may not necessarily be entirely emotionally handling the situation well. And with this followed by the 10 of Cups in reverse, this is telling me that the situation that you're experiencing, you're able to see the happiness potential, but you aren't entirely able to feel that happiness. What it seems to me, especially with this being for you, Scorpio, your archetype does involve substance abuses or just substances in general, illicit substances in general. You do govern things like that, such as drugs and alcohol. I feel that what I'm intuitively sensing is that you have a tendency to overindulge, and you're choosing to not do so anymore and to live a healthier lifestyle, but you're having hard time emotionally adjusting to this, is what I'm intuitively sensing. But with the 10 of Cups in reverse, you do see the positive aspects of what it is that you're doing, but you just aren't able to fully feel the happiness that you should with this new situation that you're in. And so moving forward into your future, the cards being presented for you are the 3 of Wands reversed, the Universe reversed, 8 of Wands reversed, and the Hanged Man upright. moving forward into your future, you again are you're reinforcing this Two of Wands upright that came out in your overview. With the Three of Wands in the reverse, this indicates that you are releasing or letting go of effort or physical connection with others. It could be a third party or group situation. So maybe your friendships or your work environment or your general community. Intuitively, what I'm sensing is I intuitively sense that your work relationships is strongest about this card, but that may not resonate for everyone. But this card is indicating that you are letting go of an act of work that you had been doing with a third party situation. And from this card, you're moving into the universe in reverse. This indicates that you are going within yourself. You are looking to evolve spiritually and grow into a new wisdom and insight. And you're doing so by going within. The Eight of Wands in reverse is indicating that you are releasing full physical control over your surroundings. So it could be that from this universe in reverse, with you going in, and also to reinforce this Nine of Wands reverse and Seven of Wands reverse that came out earlier, you're letting go of your sense of material possession, or you're letting go of your control of your physical environment, is what I'm intuitively sensing. You're learning how to be with just yourself. And that's supported by this Hanged Man and the upright. This is indicating someone who is specifically looking for a new perspective, looking for new insight, new wisdom, new opportunity. This card is called the Hanged Man because he chooses to hang himself upside down so that he can have a new perspective. You're looking for new perspective. You're wanting something different with yourself, and you're choosing to find that new opportunity by letting go of your physical surroundings, your physical situations, going within and looking at the world differently than what it is. Scorpio, just to get a clearer understanding of what your specific situation is, I would like to pull clarifiers. I would like to pull clarifiers for this Nine of Wands in reverse, to understand what the situation in your past that you were letting go of, releasing control over, with this Nine of Wands in reverse and Seven of Wands in reverse. I will also like to pull clarifiers for this Five of Cups in reverse, just to get a clear understanding of your current situation that I intuitively feel you are better emotionally and mentally accepting. And I would also like to pull clarifiers for this Three of Wands in reverse to get an understanding of what this third party situation is that you're letting go of. Okay, Scorpio, to clarify this Nine of Wands in reverse, to understand the situation that you have chosen to let go of. The clarifier cards coming out for you are the Devil upright, or excuse me, the Devil in reverse, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Nine of Cups upright, and the Two of Cups in reverse. With the Devil in reverse, this indicates that this definitely was what you're letting go of, a heavy situation, something that is not good for you, something that goes against you, something that conflicts with you. And with the Eight of Pentacles being in reverse, this indicates that the situation that you're letting go of, because the Eight of Pentacles is in the reverse, was something that you consistently and cyclically interacted with. Because this is followed by the Nine of Cups and the upright, this indicates this particular situation, even though it wasn't good for you, even though you were in a habitual pattern of it, it brought you happiness. It didn't completely fulfill your happiness because it doesn't have the Ten of Cups, but it did bring you happiness. However, this is followed by the Two of Cups in reverse. It brought you happiness, but it did not allow you for self-fulfilled happiness. And so I do think this supports what I was intuitively sensing, that you, Scorpio, are choosing to let go of your indulgences because you have the Devil card in reverse. This is something that it's not a good situation because this is the Devil. However, since it's in reverse, and to clarify the Nine of Wands in reverse, this indicates that this is a situation you're letting go of. To also support that you are letting go of your indulgences, the Eight of Pentacles. This, the Pentacle suit refers to your physical surroundings or your material possessions or your self-satisfaction. I intuitively sense that this is referring to some mental possession that you were habitually interacting with, because it's the 8. 8 numerologically refers to situations that are cyclical, continuous. It's 8 is the number of infinity, so it means something that you were habitually interacting with. And because you have the Nine of Cups upright and the Two of Cups in reverse, they're both cups cards, and with them being in two different orientations, it seems that they're going against each other. But I think it's to indicate that you're experiencing a happiness, or you were able to experience a happiness from this situation, but not a happiness that you yourself need, because the Two of Cups, which will refer to your self-happiness, your self-satisfaction, is in the reverse. So the cards don't just outright state what the situation is, but because this Devil card in reverse came out first, I do think that confirms my intuition that you are letting go of your indulgences. What I was picking up from your overview row is that you're choosing to be in a more health-focused mindset. To clarify this Five of Cups in reverse, to better understand the situation that you've chosen to emotionally and mentally, with this Eight of Swords in reverse, to let go of and to accept, you have the Ace of Pentacles upright, the Tower in the reverse, the Eight of Rods or Wands upright, and the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. With this Ace of Pentacles in the upright, this indicates that the situation you're experiencing with the Five of Cups in reverse is something new. Intuitively, what I'm sensing is it's specifically something that's exciting for you. With this Ace of Pentacles, this card specifically refers to any new creation or a new beginning that you're having with your material possessions, physical surrounding, or self-satisfaction. I'm intuitively sensing that you're allowing yourself to experience a new opportunity. However, this new opportunity is something that at the moment is not causing you distress, but it could cause you distress. It's not causing you distress because with this Eight of Wands, you're choosing to go towards this new opportunity. So this Tower card is in the reverse to indicate that this is something that could cause you conflict or could cause you upheaval. But since it's being specifically followed by the Eight of Wands, you are choosing, you're not allowing this Tower card to be upright, essentially. This Eight of Rods is what stabilized this Tower card in the reverse. You are making the effort to go towards this Ace of Pentacles situation that could cause you to feel as if you're experiencing the Tower upright, or feel as if you're experiencing a heavy, challenging, and conflicting situation. And from you choosing to undergo this new experience with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, this is indicating to me, what I'm intuitively sensing is that even though you are in this new experience, you're not quite seeing result from being in this experience. And I think it's because what I'm intuitively sensing is the Six of Pentacles is related to this Tower in the reverse, and stating that this new opportunity that you're in with this Ace of Pentacles has the potential to create a newer environment for you. But with it being in the reverse, that is stating that you are not quite yet reaching that new environment that you're supposed to be experiencing from this Ace of Pentacles. And I think that's why the Tower is also present in the reverse, because the Tower is here at all because the situation that you're experiencing is heavy, is difficult for you. It's coming out in the reverse because you're not allowing it to feel or be heavy with this Eight of Wands. You are choosing to undergo the situation. It is heavy. You're not allowing yourself to feel the heaviness, but you still are not able, because it's so heavy, to experience the result that you're wanting to. And that's indicated with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. And I feel that with these cards, to clarify this Five of Cups in reverse, this supports the remaining cards from your present row in stating that you're mentally letting go of overthinking the situation, but it's causing you to still feel emotionally unfulfilled with both the Prince of Cups in reverse and the Ten of Cups in reverse. You see, especially with this Ten of Cups being in reverse, because it's the Ten of Cups card at all coming out, you see its potential. You see the positive outcome of this Ace of Pentacles, but with the Six of Pentacles reversed, you simply are not yet able to experience that actual result. But you're working on it with the Eight of Wands. Now, to clarify this third-party situation that you are letting go of and instead choosing to go within, you have the Six of Swords upright, the Judgment card in the reverse, the King of Cups reverse, and the Fool card upright. Okay. I was intuitively sensing that this third party situation had to do with you letting go of a work situation. That's just what I was intuitively picking up initially from this card. I think these cards still support that. The Six of Swords upright indicates a situation in which you are having new creative idea after an evolution or after a change. It's moving forward in a mental situation in which you are more methodical, more calculating, more perceptive. So that's why I think the clarifiers support this potential work situation. However, this new situation or this more evolved situation that you have, or because this is for your future role, that maybe this is currently happening as well, where you are currently in this Six of Swords situation where you have a new work opportunity currently, but in the future you're going to be choosing to step away from it. The Six of Swords is followed by the Judgment in reverse, which indicates that this situation is not something that's in balance or in alignment with you. And that's especially supported by this King of Cups in the reverse. You initially showed up in your present as the Prince of Cups in the reverse. And so with this being the King of Cups, that indicates that this situation has matured you because you're now the king. However, with this being in the reverse, this indicates that the situation is emotionally challenging for you. And so moving from you being in a state of feeling emotionally challenged, with this, you move into the Fool card energy upright. This indicates that, and especially because since these cards are to clarify the Three of Wands, and you have the Universe card in reverse, this Fool card is indicating a period in which you are going out, not necessarily being foolish, but you're looking for something different because the situation emotionally unbalanced you. It matured you, meaning it essentially tested you. That can also be indicated with this Judgment card. It tested you to a point that you essentially had to mature yourself emotionally, but the way that you feel about the situation is it's causing you to feel out of balance. And so with this Fool card, you are looking for a new perspective or new opportunity or new way of being. This is called the Fool card because the energy that this card represents is a being who essentially goes out into the world without a particular intention, but they're wanting to receive new perspective, new insight. They essentially go out into the universe and they're asking the universe to bring them something, but they don't know what it is that they want because they don't know what it is that they need. That's why they're the fool, because they're acting quote unquote foolishly by simply going out and doing whatever, but they're not really doing whatever. They are doing what it is that their higher forces are wanting them to do. So I feel that with these clarifying this Three of Wands, I think this does support what I was intuitively sensing, that the work situation that I feel you are presently in, moving into the future, is going to be, it's going to be a new opportunity for you within this work venture, but it's something that's going to go against you. And once you experience that, you're essentially wanting to move away from it because it unbalances you. And from this unbalance, you're choosing to look for a new opportunity, to look for a new situation, new insight or new perspective. And from this Fool energy, you go into the universe reverse, where you, instead of going out and waiting for something to come to you, you choose to go within. You're choosing to go within to look for this new perspective in continuation from this Fool card. So it seems that you have a few situations going on simultaneously, Scorpio, rising and sun, where you are choosing to have a more health-focused, health-conscious lifestyle, while at the same time in your work experience, something is also coming up for you that you no longer want to participate in. I do feel that your health consciousness has to do with your overindulgent habits. I say that because it was what I was intuitively sensing. This double card in the reverse also came out to clarify the Nine of Wands. Which that can relate to overindulgences or substances. And additionally, Scorpio, you actually do rule and govern illicit substances. You are ruled by Pluto and by death. And within that, you also govern things that are considered taboo or deviant, which can include illicit substances or alcohol as well. And so that's what I'm intuitively sensing your situation is. You are choosing to let go of your overindulgences. I was intuitively sensing that you are focusing more on your physical health. And at the same time, moving in your future while you're experiencing this, a new opportunity with your work is going to come up, but it's going to conflict you. It could be that because you are trying to rebalance yourself and rebalance your physical health, that could be why the work situation feels the way that it does. Or it could be something that just coincidentally is happening at the same time. But regardless, you are making external and internal changes, so I'm very happy for you, Scorpio. That will conclude your November to December 2024 energy reading. I thank you very much for being here with me. I will be continuing to the remaining fixed sign. Good evening, Aquarius. Welcome to your November to December 2024 energy reading. I've already reshuffled the cards for you off screen, so let's get into your messages. Okay, Aquarius, to get into your energy dynamic, we have overview, past, present, and future energies. For your overview, the cards coming out for you are the Aeon upright, Six of Wands upright, Eight of Swords reverse, and Eight of Cups reverse. Okay, for your overview, the impression that I'm getting for you, Aquarius rising and sun, is that you are coming into better balance and alignment with yourself. You are allowing yourself to experience new opportunity while also letting go of previous feelings that you have had. With the Aeon card upright, in other tarot decks, this is the Judgment card. So this indicates that you are balancing a a spiritual energy in which you are able to gain new knowledge and insight and be able to grow and evolve. And with the Six of Wands upright, this indicates that after a period of evolution, because 5 numerologically is the number of change, you are in active pursuit of a particular effort. However, you have the Eight of Swords reversed and the Eight of Cups reversed. This indicates the Swords suit refers to mental thought patterns, while the Cups refers to emotional patterns and feelings. The Eight suits refers to cyclical or continuous habitual interaction of the particular suit. And so with both of these being the 8 in reverse, this is indicating that habitual thought patterns and habitual emotions you have been experiencing, you are letting go of. And these are specifically following the Six of Wands, which is new growth or new effort beyond an evolution, and the Aeon, which is that balancing of your sense of self and gaining new knowledge and wisdom. So you first had to undergo a period in which you're understanding what it is that you need to balance yourself. You started putting in that effort, and these two cards are indicating the result of the effort that you're putting in, where you're able to let go of your mental and emotional habits that you have been in. Now, in your past energy, what is being presented for you are the Three of Cups reversed, Two of Swords reversed, Nine of Discs reversed, and the Ace of Swords reversed. I do intuitively feel that this particular card dynamic to represent your past energy is specifically referring to this Aeon card. With the Three of Cups in the reverse, this indicates that you are moving away from being in emotional agreement with a third party or group situation. It could be that you simply no longer feel the same way about maybe your friendship groups or your community, or even a romantic interest that is also intuitively coming out. And because you no longer emotionally feel the same way about this, whatever this third party is for you, it's causing you to be out of mental alignment with yourself, with this Two of Swords in reverse. This indicates a situation in which someone is not able to come to a consistent thought or idea. The Swords suits refers to mental ability and thought processes. Two specifically refers to the self-interaction of the particular suit. So this is stating that from you being, or from you no longer feeling the same way about this third party, it's making you personally a bit uncomfortable. you don't mentally feel in alignment with yourself. And from you feeling out of alignment with yourself, you move into the 9 of discs in reverse. This is a situation in which someone who sees the potential, or someone who sees the positive potential of the things around them, their physical environment or their material possessions, or even their life satisfaction. You see the potential in this because it's the 9 of discs. However, with it being in reverse, you simply are not able to interact with it the way that you're wanting to interact with it. You are not experiencing the fulfillment of your material possessions or physical surrounding or life satisfaction. You see its potential, but you simply are not able to grasp it. You don't have it. And so, because you have this awareness that you're no longer experiencing the satisfaction of the things around you, you move into the Ace of Swords reverse energy. I intuitively am sensing this is supporting the 2 of Swords in reverse, in that you don't know what to do moving forward with your unfulfillment that you're experiencing. The Ace of Swords upright indicates new, innovative, creative thoughts or ideas, which I feel is something that you actually govern, Aquarius. With you being ruled by Uranus, you are in charge of innovation. You are in charge of new ideas. Anything new that happens in society is usually ruled by Uranus or Aquarius. And so I feel that this card upright actually does represent you very well, because you do create new ideas very well and you're very creative, very innovative. But with this being in reverse, you simply either don't know how to do so, or you just are not experiencing it because you feel so unfulfilled. Not even multiple things going on. You feel unfulfilled with your physical surroundings and your material possessions. You feel unfulfilled and unsettled with yourself mentally, and you feel emotionally disconnected from the people around you. You're having a disconnect in your emotions, your thoughts, and your material possessions right now, Aquarius. Or in your past energy, you had been previously in an energy of emotional disconnectedness, mental. I don't want to use the same word, disconnectedness, again. I'm looking for something else. Mental instability and a physical dissatisfaction for the things around you. Your past energy. And so moving into the present, the cards coming out for you are the 4 of Cups upright, the Sun upright, the 6 of Discs upright, and the 7 of Swords in the reverse. So I stated that I was feeling this past, your past energy was relative to the Judge or the Aeon card upright. I am intuitively feeling that your present energy is going to be relative to the 6 of Wands upright. So with you moving from this sense of instability emotionally, mentally, and physically, you're unable to mentally move forward and decide where the next steps for yourself with this Ace of Swords. Moving from this energy, you're actually being introduced to a partner, with this 4 cups in the upright. This is my personal #1 partnership card. The cups refers to the emotional life and satisfaction of the being. The 4 suits I interpret as being partnerships. This is indicating to me that in your present, whether consciously or unconsciously, because things can be happening in the earthly plane or the spiritual plane, regardless, you are being introduced to your partner, Aquarius. And from you being introduced to your partner, you're actually able to step more into yourself. And I think that definitely supports this 2 of Swords energy that you're moving out of. You were feeling this disconnectedness here in your past energy because you were missing something. And what you were missing was this partner. And from this partner, you're able to express yourself fully because you now have your other self. You are now more complete. You were being presented as incomplete with every single one of these cards in your past energy. Every single card is in the reverse in your past energy, Aquarius. And now you have almost every card in the upright, but this is also a good interpretation, and I'll get to it shortly. But your present role is actually very good, Aquarius. You're stepping into your sense of self. You are, with the 6 of this in the upright, you're able to produce beyond an evolution that you're experiencing with discovering your full sense of self. 5 numerologically refers to change. 6 being one beyond that indicates new opportunity, new experience from that change that you previously were experiencing. So this 6 of this is indicating that your physical satisfaction is growing now, since you've experienced the evolution of better discovering yourself with the Sun card upright. And from this physical improvement, you're moving into the 7 of Swords in the reverse energy. This indicates that you're letting go of your stuck mental energy. The 7 of Swords upright would have indicated a situation in which someone attempts to mentally problem solve, but they don't reach a result. And that 7 of Swords upright can also be aligned with the Ace of Swords in the reverse. And especially because this card is directly under the Ace of Swords, I very strongly feel that this 7 of Swords reverse is you letting go of this past energy of the Ace of Swords in reverse, where you're not experiencing this mental blockage. You're not experiencing this mental disconnect. And so moving forward into your future, after you've established your sense of self, you've been presented with new opportunity, and you are releasing the mental blockage that you were having. The cards being presented to you are the 10 of Wands reversed, 6 of Cups upright, Princess of Wands upright, and the Devil upright. So following this newfound sense of self you're having, and you finally moving out of a mental blockage period that you were having, you are able to release your sense of control over your ability to create. with the Ten of Wands in reverse. This is indicating a situation in which someone no longer is participating in full force effort or pursuit towards a particular goal. The Ten of Wands upright, actually when you look at the card, it's called oppression, because the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Wands upright means that someone is putting in complete full force effort into the physical work that they're doing, whether it does or does not return result to them. That's why it's called the oppression card. But with this being in the reverse, this indicates that you're letting go of that. And this is followed by the Six of Cups in reverse, indicating that you letting go of your sense of physical control has allowed you to emotionally mature. And so now you are able to experience a new emotional opportunity. And I do feel that this is with a partner, not just because you have this partnership card coming out, but because following the Six of Cups is the Princess of Wands. You, Aquarius, are a masculine sign, with you being an air sign. Not just because you're a masculine sign, but also what I'm intuitively sensing about this Princess of Wands. I do feel that this is going to be your feminine counterpart. I stuttered over my words just then because what's tried to come out was divine counterpart. So I think that this Four of Cups and this Princess of Wands, this is going to be your divine partner, Aquarius. That tried to come out. That wasn't what I was intending to say, but that is what wanted to come out. A divine counterpart. This is your divine partner, Aquarius, this Princess of Wands. However, your interaction with this Princess of Wands, even though you're feeling a lot more better emotionally, a lot more confident, because you've released your physical and mental control, you're better in your sense of self. This is presenting a double situation in which, and this can happen with divine partners, where it creates a difficult situation that's represented by the devil. Because you are so divinely aligned. How do I want to articulate this? With divine partnerships, even though they are your perfect match, because the two of you are so perfect, your souls almost want to reject each other immediately, because it's almost like you're in a state of disbelief. That's what I'm intuitively sensing with this double card. With you meeting your divine partner, you're experiencing a happiness. However, I do think that this happiness is more so from you releasing control mentally and physically than it does with you actually meeting this person. I think you meeting this person is a result of you being happier and being in a more self-fulfilled place. But intuitively what I'm sensing is you were not expecting, to meet this person, and so it's causing some difficulty for you, Aquarius. And I will say this, Aquarius, because you're such a technical sign, as your archetype, you are the innovator of the zodiac. You're someone who is very scientific, very methodical, and because of that, you actually do have a tendency to not be as emotionally evolved. What I'm sensing with this double energy is that you meeting this partner, it's emotionally good for you because they're your partner, but it's also emotionally unsettling because you're not used to it. Aquarius tend to not be overly emotional. But if this is your divine partner, which I feel it is, your soul is wanting you to be emotional with this person. You just mentally are not ready for that, is what I'm intuitively sensing. I honestly don't feel I need to pull clarifiers for your reading. Your reading was very short and sweet and very to the point, and I think that's because you are who you are, Aquarius. You're very technical and scientific sign, so you get straight to the point. Your reading was very brief, very direct, so I feel I don't need to pull clarifiers, but I would like to pull clarifiers for this devil card to get an understanding of why it's the devil. So to clarify, this devil card showing up in your future energy, to better understand the situation of why you're feeling conflicted or challenged after meeting your divine partnership. The cards coming out are the Five of Rods or Wands reverse, the Hierophant reverse, the Four of Rods or Wands reverse, and the Judgment card reverse. I think this definitely supports what I was intuitively picking up, that because you are so used to not being as emotionally interactive, meeting your divine partnership is what's causing this devil energy. With the Five of Wands in the reverse, this indicates a stubborn energy of you not wanting to pursue an active effort or change. The Five of Wands in the upright will indicate a situation in which someone is actively working and in the process of changing the things about themselves or the things around them, their material possessions or the physical environment. Because it's in the reverse, you are not doing that. You are wanting to stay the same. And this is followed by the Hierophant in the reverse. The Hierophant card refers to traditions, values, beliefs, but it could also refer to marriage. This is showing up in the reverse, which indicates that you are not absolutely wanting to pursue this traditional system, which I feel that traditional system is marriage. And it, especially because this is followed by the Four of Wands in the reverse. I indicated that the four suits are my partnership interpretation cards. The Four of Wands upright would be that active pursuit towards a partnership. This is coming out in the reverse. So this is again supporting this Hierophant in the reverse, where you're not wanting to actively pursue this partnership. And because you're not wanting to actively pursue this partnership, this is actually causing you to experience the Judgment in reverse. You are not seeking, or you are not, because that word specifically came out, even though I wasn't intending for that, you are not seeking, nor are you experiencing spiritual growth, which would have been indicated by the Judgment upright. And it's very interesting that for your future, after you're meeting this person, you are no longer experiencing spiritual insight and wisdom. And I feel it's because you're choosing to, though, with the three of these cards, but most specifically with the Five of Wands, this is the specific card for not choosing change. But it's interesting that you have this Judgment card in the reverse for your future energy dynamic, when this card actually showed up in the upright here for your overview. So these are two different decks. So but this card, even if you look here, they're both 20 because they're intended to be the same card. This is just a different name. So it feels that you had to experience some sort of growth, new insight, new wisdom, and that is what allowed you to even be in a position where you could be introduced to this divine partner. You had to grow some in order to experience this divine partner, and now you are needing to grow even more. But you're choosing not to grow, and I think it's because you simply don't want to emotionally connect with this person, Aquarius. You are emotionally rejecting this person, but they've already been presented to you, or they are being presented to you currently, since this Four of Cups came out for your present energy. But moving forward, you are going to be needing to experience another growth and evolution, Aquarius. I understand that you've already experienced that. You have some more growing to do. I just want to say, Aquarius, I think you are so funny for having these cards in the reverse. You don't want this person. You don't. I think that's it's very Aquarius of you. And I'm saying that because I myself, I'm an Aquarius stellium. My moon and Venus are in Aquarius. So me romantically, I absolutely understand the situation as well. And I think it's very funny. It's very Aquarius. So good for you. That is all that I have for you, Aquarius. This will conclude your reading. The only thing that I can express towards you, Aquarius, is don't be afraid to be romantically and emotionally involved with someone. Aquarius, I'm an Aries sun, and the way that I feel about Aquarius suns and risings, I think Aquarius is such a beautiful sign, but I think you have a hard time seeing your own beauty, Aquarius. So just know that you are beautiful and that you are loved, and people are going to accept you for who you are, whether you or they think it's weird or not. That is what makes you beautiful, because you're so unique. With that being said, continue growing yourself spiritually. I think your spiritual growth is what's most important, because you have this Aeon card that showed up very first. And then your final card, technically, even though it's a clarifier card, it's not your main spread. Your final card technically is, again, the Aeon or the Judgment, but it's in the reverse. And I think that has a significance. It's first showing up upright, and then it's last showing up in the reverse, because you are needing to experience spiritual insight and wisdom and growth. So continue to expand yourself. I know you love to learn, Aquarius. Continue expanding. Allow yourself to open up. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with someone else. And that will push you through this devil energy. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for being here with me. I hope you have a good evening and good night. To all of the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, thank you so much for staying this far into the reading. If you have, thank you for joining the channel. If you enjoy your reading or enjoy my style of reading, give the video a like. If you have any feedback or anything that you want to share and express to me, feel free to do so in the comments. If you would like to expect new and future content from me, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I love you very much, and good night.